Yo, what's good guys? Inswain with Inswain Audio. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe and to join our family because I'm dropping tutorials just like this one every single day. There's not many doing it like this, man. Come on. Welcome to the family. We missed you. Anyways, today I'm going to be showing you a clip from a Veritasium video. If you don't know what that is, it's like a science channel. Don't worry though. Don't lose me here. It had to do with audio, and I was just watching it for whatever reason, and this part stood out to me, and I was like, oh, I want to put this in a video. So we're going to watch it, and I'm going to break it down for you and talk about how it relates to mixing, because it's really crazy. But anyways, let's get into it. Alright, so the full video is called These Sound Illusions Fool Almost Everyone. It'll be linked below in the description. Channel's really cool. It's not related to audio engineering, but it's really cool. But this right here that we're going to see, this little clip, is related to audio engineering, and it's going to talk to you about audio and visual cues and how they can interact with each other, and then I'll talk about mixing after we see that. So let's check this out.
What's even more amazing is how subtle visual cues can affect what we hear. What am I saying in this clip? Bear, bear, bear. If you heard the word bear, that's because that's what I was saying. But what am I saying in this clip? Bear, bear, bear. Now I bet you heard fair. But if you play back both those clips without looking, you'll find it's the exact same audio. All we changed was the mouth movement. And I can prove it to you by playing those two clips at the same time, and what you hear will change depending on which clip you focus on. Bear, 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 bear. So what we see affects what we hear, and the reverse is also true. In this illusion, if no sound is played, it looks like the two circles are passing through each other. But add a sound when they intersect, and immediately it seems like they're bouncing off each other. What we see and hear are intrinsically linked because in the real world, one sense can reliably inform the other.
So, that's cool. That's crazy. That really blew my mind. I'm sure you might have seen the first example with the bear, 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 or whatever. I've seen that all over the place, but I didn't see that second example with like the golf balls or whatever. So basically the point is that what we see influences what we hear. Also, what we hear influences what we see. So they both influence each other. It's a two-way direction relationship. Now, this is, if you're a mixer, this is bad because when we're using plugins or even analog gear, but especially with plugins, there's a lot of visual information, right? The most common example is like a parametric EQ, like, you know, Pro Q3, right? EQs like that. There's a lot of visual information. It's very easy to visualize what we're doing. And we, as humans, we rely on our vision more than our ears, our hearing. So when we have all this visual information, it's so easy to rely on that and to always be looking at what the EQ looks like and what it's doing. And that is going to influence what we hear. That was just proved by this. And I can speak from experience, it definitely does. That's why I recommend sometimes mixing with your eyes closed, making changes with your eyes closed so you can remove this factor, this element, so that it doesn't harm you in a negative way. Because we only care about what things sound like. If your EQ looks beautiful, but the song sounds bad, guess what? It doesn't matter. And the vice versa is true. If your EQ looks crazy, but the song sounds good, guess what? It's good. Because the listener, they're just going to be hearing the song. They don't see your EQ. They're not even going to see your session. And that's why it's so important to not get tricked by your eyes when you're mixing. And this goes beyond just EQs. This goes for everything. The compressors, anything you could think of, saturators. I just use the EQ example because the parametric EQs are very visual, and that's like the easiest trap to fall into, I believe. But it goes to show why plugin designers, they spend so much time making sure that their plugin looks the way it does. I actually heard just like yesterday, the day before, that some plugin company, I don't even remember who it was, but I'm sure multiple companies, if not all of them, go through this where they'll design the plugin, they'll do the coding, get the sound of it, and they'll go through multiple versions of what the UI actually looks like. Different, layouts, color schemes, all of this, because that's so important because not only does it attract the customer and us, the mix engineers, to buy the plugin, it influences the way we hear it. So even with the same plugin coded under the hood, we're going to hear it differently, just psychologically. It's like, I imagine, like, if you took, like, the body of a car, like the engine, you know, the chassis, whatever, like the framework of a sports car, but you put some junk car body over it, you're not going to like it that much, even though it's the same car underneath the hood, right? It's like with plugins. Both plugins are operating the exact same. They technically sound the same, but because the UI looks different, we're going to hear them differently. Or the same is true where if you have a really junky car, the body of it, the engine, everything, I don't know anything about cars, but a really bad car that doesn't drive fast, but you put a Lamborghini body on it, it looks nice. People are going to think that it's going to go fast, but it doesn't. We're very visual as humans, and our visual interpretation and perspective influences how we hear so much. And this isn't good for mixing because we only care about audio. So we need to find tricks to not get tricked by our eyes. And I think closing your eyes while you're mixing is a big one. And just being aware of it, just now that I pointed this out to you, and you might have already known this, but now that you know the extent of it, I think just by being aware of it, our brains can overcome it slightly. Never totally, but I think once you're aware of your biases, you can overcome them slightly. I don't know if there's any proof to that, but I really feel that way with this and with many things. I don't think it's ever perfect, but I don't know. I mean, hopefully you learned something from this. If not, hopefully it was interesting. I just wanted to talk about this. Like I said, I saw this video and it instantly, like, I was like, oh, that's crazy. Like, let's make a video about it. Let's talk about it. You know, hopefully you took something from this. If not, hopefully it was at least entertaining. There's plenty of other videos on my channel you can learn a lot from. So sometimes it's nice to just take a break and talk about something cool with audio. Anyways, guys, my name is Inswain with Inswain Audio. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. I know it's a big ask, but hey, it's what we got to do these days. I'll see y'all tomorrow, man. Peace!